Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to another episode of Ball at All Cost. Today, we are covering, this is episode 9, I believe. As customary on the show, we will go around, check in with everyone. We've had a long day of football. We don't like to talk clubs, but I will say to the team that won the Prem, highly deserved. Well done to them. And then we're going to talk about a topic that I think has been on everyone's mind, called the elephant in the room. Is your child Instagram famous? Does your child have an account? Does having an account have an impact? I've heard a couple of people talk about the fact that they've had clubs reach out to them from the gram. Is a gram a necessity in 2025? But before we get into that, we follow with the Ball at All Cost panel team, and I'm going to start with Dan. Dan, how are you feeling? And I hope you're not shaking your bum violently because you've taken another Prem.
You threw me off guard about shaking my bum, so I'll ignore that bit. I'm good. We all know why I'm good. It's a good day. I've had a good day today. Family time. Seeing my son play a different sport. He played rugby. They seemed to score a try in the final. So, it was good. It's been a good weekend. And we're here. So, yeah, good.
Big up to you. And we got the famous Ade. I swear down, man, I felt like I don't even know how I felt. I just saw Ade on the screen yesterday for the fight, and I was shouting at screen, that's my guy, that's my guy. I'm fresh back from the best stadium in world football, and off air he confirmed it. How are you? Have you recovered from the fight yesterday? You must be on a high. Tell us.
Yeah. No, thank you all. Great to be here. I haven't been present for quite a few of them now. But can I just say, Deji, Daniel, Andrew, Martin, you lot have been doing a fantastic job. I'm always watching them as well. And the information that you're bringing to parents is fantastic. So excellent. Just coming back to the fight. Yeah, fantastic result for our team. Anthony, Tunde, James, myself, Joel, Ruben. It was a fantastic result. Big up to Lyndon Arthur, Pat Barrett, and their team as well. It was a great fight, and then a great fight afterwards between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn as well. Fantastic. And yes, I have to double confirm that Tottenham Stadium is absolutely, it's a marvel. It is absolutely up there. It's got to be. I haven't been to the non-camp or anything like that, but this is probably got to be one of the best stadiums out there right now. So credit to Tottenham for that. And then when I got back early hours of the morning, probably about 3. Traffic in Tottenham was absolutely crazy. We didn't move for 2 hours because it was just roadblock everywhere. I got home at about 3 and had to get up early to take my boy football as well. So that's the game. As you can tell, my voice is a little bit weary, but we march on.
For real. And well done to you.
Thank you.
We can see Andrew now. Good to see you. Martin, we'll come to you. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Happy to be back on the pod. I was similar to how you felt when we saw our brother Ade on TV doing his thing, doing what he does best, training the best athletes, especially in boxing. So yeah, it was good to see him on TV, and then happy to see the fight. I think it was one of those historical fights that you had to be there, you had to be on your sofa watching. Really, really enjoyed it. And yeah, this afternoon actually, my son played. So yeah, that was an interesting game. But the main thing is that the boys go out there, enjoy it, and still love the sport they do, which is football. So yeah, feeling good, feeling great.
100. And Andrew, thank you. Last but not least, how are you?
But I did catch Ade flexing. Now, is that because this is Instagram famous? We have to talk about anybody that's famous that we know. Because I did see him earlier, and I did ask him for his autograph, and he aired me. Yeah,
that's a lie. That is an absolute lie.
You didn't hear me. You were talking to your fan base. That's why. I got moved by the bouncer. I was like Billy Joe Saunders without the racism. Anyway, we move.
I got short of messaging Ade a list of wishes. I wanted pictures, selfies, trackies, the whole boxing gloves. I wanted the whole shebang. Like, I went, calm down. I need to find out what's going on. But
I messaged Ade about 1:30 last night saying where to snip it for the pod. He had with ISO Speed and KSI. He needs to get some little free promos with us there.
I'll be honest, I tell you. So what happened is afterwards, our seats were right round the other side of the ring, but the security weren't letting people go round there because of Turkey Al Sheikh and like you couldn't go past certain areas. The security was that seriously, they were doing a different kind of job. But so what happened was we couldn't really get round there, and after the ring walk, everyone's kind of got their seats. So they was like, "Oh, you have to move. You have to move." So they ushered us in somewhere, and we got seats. And I've looked to the side, and I'll be honest, I would never do this. It's not me. But I saw, I know KSI because he came to train with us quite some time ago, cool guy and stuff like that. But I Show Speed, and my boy always goes on about ISO Speed. Oh, he's fast. He's a professional footballer. This. He knows Ronaldo, all that kind of stuff. And I thought, oh my God, I don't really want to go. But I said, let me go and ask him for a picture for.
no way.
Yeah, so that's why I got the picture with both of them for my boy. Like KSI, he's really cool. He's a cool guy. He was like, yeah, come. And then the ISO Speed guy, he was really cool about it as well. So, I just thought, let me just do that for my boy and
I say like
Do you want to name drop anybody else? Sorry.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Can you get these guys to name drop us on their shows? Like you're gonna say, Dej, and they've got millions and millions of views. They sold at Wembley.
We can get ISO Speed and KSI on the next show. Just talking about, the kind of But yeah, no, that's big, man. That is absolutely fantastic.
There was a bigger thing, just to add on to it before we cut. And for me, one of the biggest things with the night, obviously, we're all fathers here, black fathers as well.
Yes,
but the reuniting of Chris Eubank Senior and Chris Eubank Junior, Connor Ben, and Nigel Ben as well. I thought that was fantastic. It was a really beautiful thing to see when they all embraced in the ring, and then how they spoke about each other afterwards. But especially the whole Chris Senior and Chris Junior situation, seeing them come together as well, father and son, I thought that was fantastic. Really good. It really, for me, it really added another 20-30% to the whole event.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree.
True.
Fantastic arena for it. Anyway, we move.
Who wants to go first? I think it makes sense with someone who's got an account to really talk about why you set up the account. And yeah, I've got my own views actually, but if I lay my views, I am afraid people might not want to talk. So I'm gonna let you go first and then I'll say mine. Who wants to go first?
Yeah, I can go. To be honest, Devontae has had account for a long time and it's not in use. Don't use it at all for years. I think it was during lockdown that just because he was doing one or two things, I thought it would be good and stuff like that. But my kind of thoughts on that stuff has changed. So I've never really done anything with it. I just feel, or think, should I say, that I just don't think it's necessary at this time. I do personally look at the whole social media thing, and a lot of it, you don't know how genuine the situation is and stuff like that. And I just don't know I don't want to say I don't know, but the impacts of being sucked into social media, it coming from a football background, even a sports background. I mean, we talk about it a lot in boxing because you're judged extremely heavily and harshly if you don't win. No one cares. People are ruthless. They are really ruthless. And the thing is, anyone can contact you at any single moment. You've seen a lot of footballers who've experienced not only racism or disrespect to them, or or whatever. And I'm not saying footballers shouldn't be criticized, because obviously you're an athlete. People pay to watch you say and to watch you perform. So you got to understand that there's going to be criticism with it. But when it starts going into another arena, that can be something totally different to what you're doing. You think, is this stuff really necessary? Secondly, I think sometimes when you're chasing the likes and the comments and stuff like that, that can become a rabbit hole that you just go deeper and deeper into. And the more you start chasing them, the more you get, the more you chase them, the more you get, the more you chase them. So now it becomes that you're trying to do something for something totally different than what you started it from. So I'm just, I think I've got to a stage that I'm kind of skeptical. Me, I have got an Instagram account where I was building up my personal training thing, but I've kind of come off that now. I do look, I haven't posted in ages or anything like that. I just kind of look at it to, look at certain motivational things or things like that. But that's my kind of point of view.
Thank you.
Yeah, Kay's got an Instagram account. I think we did it. I think just around when he first started playing in goal, just to document his journey and just like his mum's really into like pictures and videos. The whole mum thing about making all the pictures. So I think it's based around that, and I think again what Ade said, it wasn't like you get the likes and that that people comment, oh great save, and you get kind of like it's that kind of really good factor, like someone recognizing your boy and for what he does, making great saves or just little things in training sessions. I think as time's gone on, we've kind of dropped back as much, so we don't post as much as we used to, and that. And again, I think it's the whole thing that Instagram famous, and I'm quite a realist, so I posted bad as well. So if he makes a mistake and they violate a video clips, I will post his goals he conceded and like not the performances are not great. So I just post everything just to keep it authentic and real. But it's kind of consuming. He's not a professional athlete. Like this is his hobby, it's his pastime. And I've been places with him like in tournaments or playing games, and like adults of like they know my son, they know his name, like, and I'm like, who is that kid? Because I don't know. And it's like obviously someone that see him on Instagram and everything else, and they've identified him, and they can put the page to him. So I think as much as that, and for me, again, working what I do is this high risk and vulnerabilities of what you do, and you put your personal life out there. If it's private and it's your family and everything else, but I think the vulnerabilities you put yourself, your family, your whole everything at risk just for a like or to create a persona about yourself or your family or the child you have, which necessarily isn't real. And again, I have a real thing about evil eye as well. So all the good you do, I always believe that somewhere in the background, in the universities, people are not wishing good upon you. So if you can take those vibes away, I'm more than happy to keep them away from my kids and my family. So yeah, it's get pros and cons, but at the moment we kind of drop back and don't use it as much.
And you touched on a lot of poignant, salient points actually that I want to come back on, but I want us to just hear everyone first, and then we'll kind of touch base on some of those points.
Yeah, I can go next. So Instagram famous. My son does have an Instagram. I have an Instagram as well. But talking about our boys, yeah, Jordan's got an Instagram account. He's not. I wouldn't say he's nowhere near Instagram famous, but when we created it, I think we created it. I think early last season, just to capture his development. I know all of these things can be done on the phone, and you don't need to really post on Instagram. But when I see like certain posts, I'm like, oh wow, I can try to mimic that post and do a little bit something with Jordan's post. But yeah, I just think it's just for me to look back on the footage, a short, quick snap of like what he's done, the skills that he's done, celebrations, assists, and it just makes me realize that wow, like boys out there are really talented, and I see my son that he's hopefully catching up to that. But it's all innocent, I think, for me, and it's private as well. So we kind of manage who gets to see what he's doing. It's not a public account, so we get to accept certain requests, and most of these boys that are on Instagram, it's normally their parents that are handling their accounts. So, but yeah, it seems innocent for me. I do work with young people as well, so I know the risk factors, the pros and cons. But yeah, me and the missus just try to keep it as private as possible. And yeah, it's interesting, Dan, that you mentioned evil eye. That's something that I never really thought of, but it is something that, yeah, whenever someone's good looking at your son, there's probably someone that wish him bad, or maybe they're not. But I hear
100%.
you trying to protect your kids from that. But yeah, for us, yeah, like I said, my son hasn't got he's not Instagram famous, but he does have an account that we manage. I don't even think he sees the account. Let me not lie. He does see certain clips that I'll show him, and like he'll be shocked that, wow, they actually do that. So it's a reminder just to show that, yeah, you are good. Just keep on going, keep on having fun, and keep on expressing yourself, because football is entertainment, man. That's what you want. It's not like robots. They want to entertain themselves. They want to copy what their famous footballers are doing, and yeah, they want to mimic it when they get on the pitch. So yeah, that's where I stand on Instagram, an account.
For real. Whilst Andrew is working on his sound, there's a couple of questions that I just want to blurt it out, and then people can kind of deal with a number of things. So I don't have an Instagram account for my son, partly because I'm very poor on social media. Anyone who knows me, my wife will probably confirm I am rubbish. I don't even post my own birthday. So to get me to do an Instagram account is just too much work. Something I don't even do for myself. But that doesn't mean I don't like the idea of it. I think there's a number of things for me, and I think I read an article, and I guess the first thing I wanted to ask, and I think you started to deal with it, is one, does your child see the Instagram post that you put out? Because we recognize players, I recognize players from the gram, but I realized one time that my son didn't know the players that I recognize, because I'm seeing them. I might be liking or commenting on some of these people's stuff, but my son has never seen the stuff that I'm liking and commenting. So there's one. I read an article before, and I'm not making, I have no views on this. I read an article that said, do you think it's strange that some parents talk as if they are the child who's operating the Instagram? So, hey, Charlie, great goal, Charlie, today. Yeah, friend, you did really well, friend. And that whole thing going back and forth. Now, I don't know. I could put it out there. I read that article and I went, yeah, they got a point here. It is a bit strange to be pretending to be the child, writing as if the child, commenting and giving each other props. But again, I have no view on that. It's just an article that I did read. So yeah, just wanted to hear.
You know what? When you look at it like that, you know what it is? It sounds really crazy, yeah. Because in a wider world of context, like you like, are you a secret groomer? Pretend to be someone else in the background. But you know what it is as well? I think it's that subconscious thing of that, you know, as a full-blown adult, you can't and you ultimately you also know you're messaging another adult. It's not a child you're messaging. Yeah. And the comments are you're both messaging adults as if you're both children. Yeah. Great. I've seen it. I've had Caden like great game today, bro. Love to see you soon. I see you soon, whatever, not love. I'll see you soon. Yeah. And I'm thinking back, I said, oh, I'm like, yeah, thanks. Great game to you too. I didn't play in no game. Yeah. You didn't play in no game. Yeah. It's just that it's like that kind of that subconsciousness. You become your child, even though it's not your child. Yeah.
Not getting sucked in.
Yeah. So again, it's that psyche thing of what you're actually doing it for. Like you might as well have your own personal account. I don't say this is my boy, this is my son. Yeah.
And I'm not knocking it.
No, I'm not knocking it, but I'm saying if you look in the wider world and how you're describing it and how it is a bit off, if you look at the bigger picture, it makes more sense if you had a personal, your adult account, and you say, oh, my boy did well today, this is my boy, very rare. And you can have these conversations, but yeah, it is crazy. And I think, yeah, people get caught up in this Instagram conversations. They create, I think I've seen some of the best players that have walked this earth on Instagram. Seriously. Yeah. Because their captions, their clips, the way they fade in and fade out. Even some of the tunes that go with the clips.
Yeah. Come on.
When you scroll through and you hear the tune, that gets me first. I'm vibing to the tune. I'm like, oh, let me see what's going on. I think Instagram famous is such a new age tag name for not just kids. I think it's everyone. Society nowadays makes Instagram, social media. You become famous overnight.
You do.
Doing, yeah.
You become famous, but you become famous in the eyes of the person who's viewing you. Because, like I said,
Yeah.
I don't show my gram to my son at all. So I'm there noticing that's a Fulham player, that's an Arsenal player, that's a Chelsea player, that's a Luton under 10. To my son, he don't have a clue who you are. He don't give a damn who you are. He's just gonna kick his ball, play his thing. But the other thing I wanted to throw out there, and I know we're moving around, and maybe we shouldn't move around, is that for me personally, I feel like we're moving to an age where the games now, more time, the games are recorded. Most teams now have VO cam.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I ain't about to give away the golden nugget. I don't want you to know that my son has a little shimmy to the right and then left, and then he does a Travella, and then boom, he's gonna bang a goal. Because there are some people, some parents who are studying that fact. Do you get me? I like to keep the surprise element. But I think it would be naive of us to think that people ain't studying people's grams, trying to work out weaknesses to their child. So when you're talking about the evil eye, I do think that plays a part. I think there's people studying our kids, working out their strengths and weaknesses from the clips that they're seeing on the gram. You know what I mean? And yeah, I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. I don't know, Andrew. Hopefully your sound is working. Maybe you can chime in on that. No, yeah. It's working. No. Try your phone.
Do you know what? So as Andrew's having technical issues. Do you know what? As much as we say is other people I think you have so many football recruiters, scouts, people working talent ID that do lazy scouting. They literally go on Instagram and they look at these clips and they see all the great bits. They see all the great bits. Like, let's contact the parent. Like, what are you doing? Where are you playing? Do you want to come in? And then when the boy gets there and it's not the real article, they're like, oh, what's happened here? And the camera, then the blame's put on the parents that you've lied about your boy. But actually, no, you've not done your research, your homework on the individual. You just got up a video clip of the great 15 seconds out of an 80-minute game.
But I think Daniel, and Deji, I think I can't speak for all parents. I can just speak for myself. Like when I'm watching VO or watching a match that my son's played in, I'm not really looking at the other team and how they're playing. Maybe it's the managers that are doing that. Maybe these managers have access to other VO and trying to assess how they play, and then when they go up against them, they can now know where their weaknesses are. But I think it's VO or whatever recording system is coming to play because maybe there was a market where you see a lot of parents with GoPros on their head or having their camera phone out wanting to record their matches. And now that VO's come about, parents don't have to do that and they get to re-watch the match. Because I was talking to a parent before and they said that they thought their child had a poor game until they watched the VO and were like, wow, do you know, actually my son didn't have a poor game. It's just because of my emotions was running high. And that's why I felt that he had a poor game. But when I watch it back now where I'm calm and collective, like I can now see that he's had a decent game. So yeah, back to what you said, I don't think parents really are watching other teams like that. I think that's more for coaches to understand the pros and weakness of a team.
But Martin, let me ask you a question though. So forget obviously when you play for the boys play for the grassroots team, you kind of have an understanding about VO is going to be there. Yeah. When you go and play against an away team, how often have you heard the opposing coach ask your manager and the manager come and say to you, oh, they're recording a game today, are you okay with this?
Oh, never. I don't think I've heard of that, you know.
Never.
And the thing is, for me, and I know this is the boring side of what I do, but I always think of the worst case scenario. Yeah. We don't know what these boys and families do away from football in terms of their domestic life.
Yeah.
And when you post stuff online, it is there forever.
Yeah.
So, and you may have some real child protection issues in the background where this child can't be seeing their parent, or a dad, or a mum, or relative, and all of a sudden it pops up on Instagram, and these boys now trackable and traceable where they are.
Wow.
And next weekend, you don't know what risk. Again, I talk about risk and what harm you put in these families or young boys at risk. So I think as much as video on the plus side is so great of information, and it's a great to analyze your games, whether it's your any professional game or just grassroots. Yeah, and I also think there needs to be a way of quality assuring it's done in the right way. So making sure that everyone has access to it, but everyone has the right to say no. Just the same way you go to school and the school will ask you, can we take pictures you are trying to put on the website? And you will say no. Yeah. I don't want to be no publications around the school because that's my child's education is private and I keep it that way.
Yeah.
So I get it. I do think video, and I love watching video. I click on goal because obviously Kay's the goalkeeper. I look at goals and goal shots. Half time, I don't watch the game. I look at the goals that go in and the shots that go. But I do think we need to look at how we, as a wider society and organisation-wise, in terms of football, how we manage it and quality assure it and police it in the right way, because it's free access. It's there forever. Once it's posted, it's there. It's always there, the traceable. So I don't know.
I think
Yeah.
just to add on to that, I think coming from Deji, Martin, and Daniel's point, social media is massively a part of our society now, in any way, shape, or form, through your job, through downloading an app, through football, through any sport you can think of. There's a social media element. Daniel's right. There are scouts that contact, because I've heard of that, scouts that contact players just on their social media. There are parents that are talking to each other, pretending to be their children, not in a negative way, just like because it's their phone that the social media account is held up on. Yes, there are parents that are living through their children's lives through the social media by posting everything that they do, all the good bits, and so on and so on and so on, for different reasons. But there's also the element of when you see children, there's the boy that has got 1 million viewers and now he's getting asked to sell products and stuff like that. There's a financial element that happens with that as well, that can be positive on a financial basis. Instagram as well, what it does is, like you say, it's to the eyes that is being that the eyes that are watching that current post of whoever doing whoever, they're being marketed to that person, because once you do that, you're basically putting your child in some ways up for review, on what they're doing, whether that be positive or negative, to then get feedback on different things. And when you come into the VO element, I think that a lot of the coaches watch it to see what a team does, what a team doesn't do, but there are also parents who strategically watch these things. Like me personally, the only time I'm gonna watch VO is to see how my boy does. That is it. I'm just one of them parents. They get banged 10-0. My boy plays the best player out there. I'm more than happy. We win 10-0 and my boy doesn't do good. I'm not happy. That's just kind of me. But there are other parents who will be looking at every single detail of this, of that team, and they know all sorts of teams because people are just interested in different things. But social media is not only is it a part of our lives, it's only going to get more intrusive. People are going to want to do more. They're going to want to put themselves out there. When you hear of, the likes of whether, KSI or whoever, and how they've come up through social media, people want that kind of lifestyle. The younger generation, even the generation that we're in, everyone is chasing a certain lifestyle.
That is so hard. Andrew, I'm gonna try you again because I know
Testing, 1, 2.
Yeah.
Gee,
Yep.
I've been listening to you lot banging on, and no one's ever even mentioned the fact that myself and Daniel got mentioned the other day, or noticed the other day because of our Instagram stroke YouTube account, and we felt like Ade. Like we were just
Not really.
it's great. On a serious note, like you guys covered a lot of the points that I probably would have made. You covered the scouting via Instagram, which is one of my biggest pet peeves, because there are a lot of boys and girls out there that actually look like Maradona. Like they actually do look like Maradona in the 30-second highlights that you see. I want to see the other 49 minutes and 30 seconds, but you don't get to see that, right? So there are valid points there about lazy scouting, etc. But I just wondered if before I go into my point or my question, Daniel, your point about VO and scouts, coaches asking, they never do, right? And that pees me off. And I always say, if you want to record, you have to ask and you have to share. And some clubs don't share. I don't want to name any names, but everyone knows what I'm talking about. They don't share, right? Why are you smiling? You know, you're always ready for the smoke. You're always ready for the smoke.
There's a vendetta going on here, man. Oh my.
Oh my days. No, but anyway, I guess you mentioned, Martin, about your son kind of seeing his Instagram account, right? And let's have it right. Our boys listen to the pod. They like when we talk about them. They like if we're bigging them up. So I wonder, Vio's being there at every game. Dad's recording, mum's recording every game. Boys try and impress scouts if they're there, try and impress in general. Do you think boys are and girls are or will play up to the camera that's there for their Instagram? So that be doing skills, being selfish, shooting from anywhere, and coming out with outrageous sellies.
Yeah,
Happening.
Yeah, I think that is. I won't name any names, but I've noticed in a couple of grassroots teams that as soon as the team posts the young person scoring a goal on the gram, it's almost like there's a thirst for more. Obviously, but imagine, your grassroots team is a big grassroots team, and then they're posting you on their gram, and they have how many followers? I mean, some of these grassroots teams have north of 10,000 followers. That means you've done a good job. That's the message it's saying. So the next day or the next game, you are seeing them literally taking shots by the halfway line. Quite frankly, you want to score because you want to be lauded as under 10 is smashing it by all costs for this team. So I have seen that, and I think some parents play for the gram. They tell their child, look, we need you on the gram, so therefore you need to put yourself in a position. So rather than pass the ball to that player, you must shoot. Or because for me, my pet peeve is I like the kids or the young people to just do the right thing. Play with intelligence, make the right decisions. Decision making is a big part of football. And when I don't see the right decision being done, I'm wondering, is it the child or is it the parent or is it the gram? It's literally those three questions I'm asking. So and I hope that parents are encouraging their child to do the right thing. But let's be real, we talked about parents living through the gram. I think there are some parents who are taking pleasure in the fact that their child was posted on the gram. I don't know, in terms of their self-esteem, in terms of all sorts of things. And yeah, I don't know what to say, but I think it's definitely there, and I think it's definitely happening.
I think that.
Sorry, Martin. I just want to back up that point because Ade mentioned something, and I know I'm picking on you, Ad, but I know what you meant by what you said. But if you take what Deji just said and what Ade said, as long as my boy played well and we got banged 10-0, I'm okay with that, right? Now, if a parent has that mentality, but also has a mentality for the gram, that's really dangerous now because they're, like you said, Dej, they could be telling their son, do step over, just bang, go past 4 or 5 players, because ultimately their concern is A, to be scouted, and B, to create content. That's a worry for football. That's a worry for a coach hearing that. Like, that's really dangerous. Sorry, Martin. I just wanted to add that
No,
point.
that's a good point. What I was going to say about with these kids, like them, I can only speak for my son's age group. I think because the camera's so high up, I've never to this day seen a boy celebrate looking at the camera. I think they're so engrossed in the match that they forget about they're being recorded. As for parents telling their kids to do this or do that, I can put my hand up. I've done that to my son early stages of football, but never in a match. Like when he's doing a group session, I'll be like, come on, try to do your 1v1s and stuff like that. But when it comes to matches, I've kind of taken a back seat and just said, look, let the coaches coach. I'm not going to say go do this and go do that so you can do it, post on the gram. I've never said that to him. I just say go play your football. Whatever your coach has told you, go do it out there and enjoy it. In terms of celebrations, yeah, like boys do celebrate, but that's not even, well, from my knowledge, that's not even parents, or I can only speak myself. That's not me saying, okay, go do this celebration when you scored. I've seen the boys have conversation like, oh, when you score, let's do this and let's do that, because they've watched YouTube, they see these like KSIs or whoever's do certain celebrations. Like you got some new football thing that's come out, and you see like someone like PK Humble like dancing or whatever. These boys want to mimic that.
PK Humble, PK Humble, PK Humble. PK.
There you
I
go.
blame Daniel for making me go on TikTok. Sorry, I didn't know this guy before this time.
There you go. There you go. So these boys see that and they think, wow, so I can actually express myself when I score a goal, and they want to see that. But to my knowledge, I don't even think these boys know that they're being recorded until the parent shows like, oh, do you remember you scored that goal or you did that celebration? Sometimes they don't even know that they did that goal or did that celebration until you show them on the ground, which I do show my boy. Like once I posted something like, look, come look at this, like this is what you did, sort of thing. So, and that tool helped me. The reason why that helped me because he went on trial somewhere, motivation and confidence was in the mud until we showed him that footage. He's like, wow, that's actually me. I can actually play ball. And I think that sort of reminder helped a footballer called Jesse Lingard. I think his mum showed him a video when he was little or when he was doing his low confidence stage. He saw himself playing when he was younger and yeah, felt, you know what, yeah, I can actually ball out. So yeah, that's what I just thought I would mention that. Like hopefully it came across well.
Yeah, just to add on to that, I think Andrew said something that is correct. With how I look at football, especially for my children, to how a coach looks at it would be very different. Whereas I'm all about my child, the development of my child. But when you're a coach, you're thinking about the development of the team. Now, if you add in social media to that element, which if you're a parent's like my child, social media, that can be a very deadly combination. But also, what we got to remember is social media is exactly what it says. It's a social connection through media. Now, that means that all the information that's out there is available to you, positive or negative, as we're alluding to now. But what is a bigger danger about social media is it releases a certain endorphin, a certain energy into you that is very, very addictive. That's why most people find it very difficult to be without their phones for an hour, for 6 hours, for a day, because of the like we say, the likes, the comments, the what did he say, what did she say, what is happening in the celebrity world, what is happening on the international stage. There's so much, the word over the last 3 or 4 years has been fake news. What's real news? What's fake news? And we're talking about that now, as Andrew and Deji just alluded to. Yeah, you see a 10-second clip. What happened to the rest of the 5 minutes? But that's 10-second clip is what we want to show you for it to implement in your mind that said player is absolutely fantastic. you know, and is a world beater. And like you said, is Ronaldo, is Maradona, is whoever. But again, does it show the kind of true reflection? But in society we are today, everyone wants it now. We're in a now society that is filled with how do we get the next positive high, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And a lot of that is through social media. And I think that's the biggest danger to it, is that parents and even worse, children can be so addicted to this thing that they come away from what is the reality of life.
Massive points there. Sorry, I got to jump in on that. You lot have had your screen time. I haven't. This is my Instagram moment, yeah? No, 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 on a real. So we've all heard that expression, a watch pot never boils, right?
Mm.
Yeah. So because I handle some of the social media for us guys, like if I post something and I've got 5 minutes, I've refreshed and refreshed to see who we hitting, what comments we're going, how is it going viral? Basically, is it going viral? And that's back to your point, Ade, a well put point about the endorphins or the dopamine that you are experiencing because you want to engage socially, you want it to be successful, you want to go viral, you want that minute or couple of minutes of celebrity and fame. And yeah, that is very, very dangerous. Luckily, it's the parents that are doing it and not the kids, because that would be even worse. So we're hoping it is parents. But one thing I will say, and it's been a bit negative about the Instagram, and you touched on it, Martin, and I think you touched on it as well, Daniel, about documentation. So I've been on to my daughter for years, and I think I may have mentioned it on this pod or another pod, I don't know. But my daughter is one of those that have her camera out, and I'm like, live in the moment, but she's always documenting, camera, Instagram, snap. And it used to really wind me up. But over the last few years, because I'm terrible taking photos, I'm terrible documenting anything, her memories will pop up on, say, Snapchat, and it will be like, a year today, we were doing this. A year today, we celebrated someone's birthday like this. And she's actually got documentation, like receipts there that can be recalled at any point. And if the way I see her use it is almost like this is her photo album or video album online in the cloud that she can recall at any point. And she doesn't need to go through her gallery. She doesn't need to have storage on her phone, like locked up, and have to get external memory. She's got it there on her social media. And like your point, Martin, you've locked it down. So you show it to who you want to show it to, and you can use it for motivation. You can use it to inspire. You can use it to remind. You can use it to say, hey, the video itself, you can use it to look at negative things and say, we need to work on this. You see, when I told you to do this and you didn't do it, this is what happens, type of thing. So I think there are positives. And I've mentioned this mum on a pod before. Her son is signed. She asked me to follow him. And I always ask her how he's getting on if I see her. And now I can see for myself how he's getting on, because she's posting stuff and just general story like stuff, not great saves, but he did this, he went there, they played against these people, and this was the score. So I think there are good elements to it, but I do think there is a celebrity to it, which is very, very dangerous.
Yeah. And I just wanted to pick up on that. And I think for me as a parent, and I hear what you're saying, and those kind of history, that online photo album, I think is key. You know, I think we need to capture that, because I think even speaking to clubs, and I know Martin would say the same, you know, if you speak to a club now in Europe, they want some footage of your child. Like, send us a footage so we can see what it is before we send you an invite. So I think there's something for that space. But the other thing I find, and how often have we had conversations, and I'm just being honest, and I think if people are unable to be honest, then we're not doing ball at all cost justice. I've been to so many tournaments where I've seen so many Instagram famous kids in the academy who, when they're up against our team, the squad, and I'm like, well, my child has been able to handle that child. So either they're not as good as the gram has alluded to, or maybe my child is better, or there's been growth or whatever. And also what you're doing, and I think this is, and I've seen some people have even stopped doing the gram as much. I think you're putting a target on their back. You're looking at some of the players.
I agree with that.
They've got a target. You're saying to your child, that's the you need to take down. That you right there ain't going nowhere. That's the person's spot. And in a competitive environment, you're kind of losing your competitive edge, I guess, when you're showing us all the goodies. Pause.
Man said pause. Had to after that comment.
Right.
As a coach, I'm not going to lie, I'm probably not going to get any more VOs now, but I've used the VOs, not so much the Instagram, but certainly the VOs to review and understand the way teams like to play, their frequencies, their tendencies. Yeah. And it's worked. So that point about goodies, pause. Yeah, I hear you.
100. Dan, Ade, Martin. Because I just feel like we got and that was the point I was saying. I guess I don't have it. I want to keep my child's
Sorry, guys.
as it were, under wraps, if that makes sense. So the more I can keep it shut, the better. So I don't know. I mean, look, everyone each to their own. I guess there's no negatives or positives in this. It's just people's viewpoint and how you see yourself. But I did think to myself, when I look at the squads, and I've done it, I looked at the academy squads, and I'm like, all right, these are the people we need to be going after, and I think that's happening. I'm sure other people are doing that as well.
Yeah, but I think like I recently went to some tournament. Was it yesterday? Pro Academy Series or Pro Series Academy, whatever it is, and I think it's like, instead of trying to watch players that maybe are signed already via the Instagram, I think that's poor way of doing things. Go see them for yourself. Go to the matches if you can. Go to the tournaments if you can. And it's not really you comparing your kids to them. It's just seeing the levels. That's why I went. I just wanted to see the level. But when I see boys that are training on the gram, I think, yeah, good on you. Keep on training. Keep on working hard. You see a lot of even athletes. Prime example is like Sergio Ramos. I remember seeing these clips when he was training. It's kind of inspiring in a way, but maybe that's what these parents are trying to do when they show their kids like training, doing one-on-ones or doing group sessions, trying to inspire other kids, maybe. But yeah, I think if you're gonna go watch a player, don't judge them by their Instagram. That's just me talking, because I know that when I'm trying to ID a talent, I don't watch 10 minutes clips. I actually want to see the full match, all the good bits, all the bad bits, or if there's bad bits. And just judge them from that.
100.
Yeah.
Sorry, I take exception to one thing you said, Martin.
Yeah.
Sorry, Adam, I'm going to let you speak. I say exception, but I'm not sure how many parents are trying to inspire others on Instagram. I'm just putting it out there. I'm happy to be wrong, and I know we're probably going to upset people today. So get at us in the comments. But I'm just not sure. A lot of parents think, if I post this clip of my son doing a Rabona, it's to inspire others.
Do you know I said that, Andrew, as well? Because, Ade, you remember when you said that your son was on Instagram early? I saw that clip, I think, of your son doing kick-ups. I was like, rah, he can do that many kick-ups at that age. And I was like, right, you know what? I'm going to try to get my son to try to do kick-ups as well, because they're in the same year group, studying the same thing in class, whatever. Let him try to get, and that inspired me anyway. So that's where I'm coming from. You're right. I hear you. My point of view. Sorry, not all parents and whatever. Just my point of view.
You were inspired by a clip. Yeah, I hear you.
But what I will say though is, I feel like the people who benefit the most from the gram is is the coaches and the clubs. I almost feel like it's a rat race. So what you see is that once you see 2 or 3 faces,
Yeah.
under a certain coach, that coach must be good.
Yeah.
People starting there. If you see 1 or 2 faces at a certain club, that club must be good. And so what you're doing is a good way, if you're grassroots, to build your business. I mean, you got that guy who just got a deal from Nike or Adidas, and I don't know the kind of the information behind it, but he does have a big, massive following, and there's a lot of academy boys that go to that session. So is it because of the amount of academy boys that go to that particular session, that now they're securing Nike deals or Adidas deals?
It's marketing. It's
Marketing.
It's marketing.
Yeah.
It's like marketing, isn't it? Like I see it as a free platform to market your business.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely agreed. And in fact, if you're not marketing your business, I mean, the only real businesses, top businesses that don't market like that is airplane companies, Bentleys, and high class things. But if you're below that, you have to market, and social media is a free way of marketing. And it gets onto so many eyes that you would have to pay tens of hundreds of thousands of pounds through marketing budgets to do. But if you can get a good videographer, put together 10 or 15 fantastic clips, and like you say, if he's got a certain amount of academy boys or so on and so on and so on, but it looks like it's really going off and it's really happening there, then top brands want to be linked to that. So if you can get a connection with them and they think, yeah, we like what you're doing, you keep doing what you're doing, we'll back you with this. It's a collaboration, and that's how it works, Coming back to Andrew and Mike's point, yeah, like you said, when you saw my boy doing the kick ups, again, whether it was for a minute or 2 minutes, you're like, wow, look at this boy, same age as my boy, he can do this many kick ups, that's fantastic. This is coming back to it. What Andrew said is, our parents doing it to inspire, or our parents doing it? For me, it was to show other people what my boy could do. If it inspired someone, great.
Yeah.
But it was for me, even showing him, look what you can do. But in a way, you get gratification out of that as a parent. Like if you walk into, I don't know, a restaurant with your child, and your child says to whoever, "Oh, hello, how are you? How are you doing?" And then the adult says, "Wow, what a polite child you've got." You feel good about that. That wow, someone's recognised that my child is is polite, is well mannered, and stuff like that. That makes you feel good. In a way, it's the same sort of thing that posting on social media does when you get the positive comments or something like that. And in the second part to that, if you go to school and the teacher says, your child's not good and he's very rude, that's not going to make you feel good. In the same
You
element.
blame the mum.
You blame them.
Joking, guys. Joking, guys. It was a bad, distasteful joke. I get it, but it was a joke.
Right, yeah, no, and it's the same feeling on a negative aspect, but like we say, is I just think social media is something that has to be handled with very, very carefully, because it's in our system now, it's in our society, and if we think we know anything about it, the younger generation, the generation that's come up, it's just even more pressure for them. It's one thing when you've got one person maybe either giving you praise or being negative you, but if you magnify that by 100, 1,000, 100,000, or even the millions, then that's a totally different kettle of fish.
So, Dej, I think before we wrap up, I think we should give Dan, our resident safeguarding lead, the last word on this. But before we do that, Dan, I'm just going to say, Ade mentioned a car manufacturer. I'm just going to say for the record, there are other car manufacturers out there. So if you do want to advertise with us, yeah, We rock with you. No, I'm ramping. Go on, Dan.
Just be mindful. Again, I think we've touched this before in our safeguard episode. Just be mindful, man, because it's there forever. It's always going to be there, even though you think it disappeared. The footprint's there. You can't take it down, and just know that everybody, anyone that access these videos, can do whatever they want, however they want, whenever they want with it, and you don't know. You have no idea what they're doing with it, how it's being used. But at the end of the day, don't be scared. Social media is a wonderful thing at the same time. Yeah, I know if I go sit down half an hour, I can probably figure out every result I need to figure out this weekend through Instagram. I know who hit 50 goals for the season, 150 goals. I know who's through to the next round of cups. I know it's a good thing. I like it, but like all things in life, positive negatives, just make sure you do it in accordance to healthy balance, and just be safe.
Thank you for that point there. Dan, did you have anything to say, Dej, before I do the formalities?
No, I think that was perfect and spot on. Thanks, Dan.
And Martin, I know I said I'm going to give that. Okay, cool. So, guys, we probably upset some of you, and we're not trying to upset any parent who is documenting their child's journey, right? First and foremost, that is not the aim here. It's a conversation. We're trying to understand. We're trying to enlighten others and try and, provoke questions about child safety as well. Okay. But there are some fabulous accounts. I've seen them as I've been going through the Instagram, trying to build our own following. I'm getting lost in players' profiles and accounts, and it's good. There's a lot of good stuff out there. And a lot of good coaching. There's one coach I followed the other day. He just speaks. He doesn't even show any footage. He just speaks about philosophies of football and what young children should do. And I've seen him a few times, and I just followed him, and I think he's really great. I can't remember his name. I'll name check him another time. So Instagram is a great tool, as Dan said. But if you disagree with anything we said, or you like anything we said, please, or you just want Ade's autograph, please leave a comment and let's have a discussion and discuss it with others. Come on, guys, we are creating a forum for everybody to be heard. Yeah, apart from Dan, we give him the least amount of airtime. He complains about that, but a forum for everybody to be heard. So if you like what you heard, you know what to do by now. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and if you listen on audio feed, review, review, and tell a friend to tell a friend, guys. You know what we say. We know you're true to this. Let them be new to this and have their own piece of ball at all costs. Good night from me.
Take care, everyone.
Take care, and we are out.
Thank you.